Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee, Books, and Brain, where we love to talk about all things books and literature and have a cup of coffee and those sorts of fun things. And today we are talking about a book I just finished. Now, this book actually does not come out until, let's see. Oh wait, no, it says it came out in October of 22. I just hadn't seen it yet. I just got it on my NetGalley, so not sure about all of that scenario, but we're going to talk about it because I thought I was going to have to wait, and I don't have to wait. Now I can go ahead and talk to you guys about it. Maybe it's coming out on hardback or something, because what I'm seeing on Goodreads at the moment is The Branded by Joe Riccioni. I think it's Riccioni. So sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I truly apologize. However, The Branded. I picked this book up from NetGalley not too long ago, and I got it in an audiobook form. So I want to thank NetGalley and the publishing company for allowing me to have the audiobook in exchange for an honest review. This is my honest review, and I will be posting an honest review on Goodreads as well, because I like to also do that sort of thing when I'm posting onto my NetGalley, just to, complete my obligation. Well, the request from NetGalley is that if they send you an advanced reader copy of something, whether it be electronic or audio, that you will try your best to provide your honest review, your honest thoughts, not only on their platform, on the NetGalley app or website, but also just on your favorite posting website. Now, I've started using YouTube just simply because I find this to be a pretty fun way to share my thoughts, but I also use Goodreads as well. I do find that some people on Goodreads are very opinionated. I think I like to feel that I'm a little more open-minded with regards to sort of readings, but I am not here to judge other people. I'm only here to tell you guys my thoughts, and we're going to talk about The Branded. And so I will say, pretty good book. This is what I would say it is fantasy. It is fiction, a little bit of sci-fi, not too much. There is some magic in there as well. Would I say it's a romance? Not so much. If it's a romance, it's a super slow burn that we only get to just dabble in a very little bit towards the end. So please don't be on the lookout for this to be a romantasy. This is not a romantasy. But let's dive into the summary just a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Because if this book has been out since October of 2022, you guys have had your chance. I'm not going to spoil it for you, though, but we are going to talk a little bit about it. And the fact that this seems to be the first book in the series, and I'm interested to see the second book in the series, because I didn't know it had been out for that period of time. So, kind of excited. Isfolk is divided into two classes: the branded, who are vulnerable to disease, and the pure, who are stronger, bigger, and immune. Orphan twins, Nara and Osha, are sequestered in the Citadel, where their unbranded skin entitles them to a life of privilege as precious breeding stock. Nara itches to escape her confines and return to the wilds of the Thornwood, where she and her sister grew up. But she is forced to run. She discovers there's much more at stake than her own life. The branded are on the rise, and the girls are caught up in the prophecies. So I'm going to stop there, even though there's a little bit more left with the summary. You're welcome to go read it on, just Google The Branded by Joe Riccioni, and I'm certain you'll find it. Now, this does say that The Branded is it's an epic, high-concept, speculative novel with explosive ideas around gender and class, served up with romance, conflict, and quick-fire narrative pace. So, let's dive into just some of that just a little bit, because I'm going to say the gender part of it was a little bit more Handmaid's Tale-ish. Now, this is not a Handmaid's Tale retelling in any way, but there is kind of this theme that women are intended, especially when they're pure, when their skin is unmarked, such as the branded have this kind of like bluish, almost birthmark like tattooing somewhere on their body that designates them as kind of unpure. And if that mark is found, then they are not pure and they have to like pretty much leave the citadel. They cannot be part of this breeding stock. And so that's kind of where in my mind I'm kind of thinking Handmaid's Tale ish, is that the girls who are pure, the girls who are considered like that are the unbranded, are really kept in this citadel as more or less cattle for breeding and for marriage purposes only. It doesn't matter if they really have other useful skills. It's all about who they marry and their ability to have children. And so that was a little bit of a detriment to me, but I understood that going into the book. Um, Now, I wasn't certain when it came to gender roles how that was going to play out, because I wasn't certain if we were talking about individuals who were transitioning. I wasn't sure if we were going to be like questioning identity or those sorts of things. This really is about like the patriarchy dominating over women's rights. And so that was kind of the biggest factor of this book and that particular role. Then you also have the class system where you have the pure versus the unbranded, and there very much is this stark difference between how they're treated. If you're pure, you are pretty much given the ability to join the military, and of course, again, the girls are considered to be highly prized. And if you're branded, you are of low class. It doesn't even matter. You are bottom of the barrel because you are weak. You are seen as faulty and flawed and vulnerable, and you are pretty much not worthy. So, women who are branded are also just like even lower. Like the rungs just get lower and lower for those women. And so that's why this book can really stir up some conversations. I think that's why I was intrigued by it in so many different ways, because it there is a little bit in our society right now, and I think there you can probably say it's not uncommon for women to be viewed differently than men. Uh, but in some parts of our culture and in some parts of the world, women are viewed as property of their husband, who are pretty much like deigned to be at home, to have children, to keep the house, and to pretty much be property. I think it was referred to in a YouTube video that I recently watched, that was kind of the original purpose of marriage, was to turn the woman into her husband's property. Of course, that connotation has really changed lately. In today's modern society, I think people are able to view marriage in whatever way they choose to view marriage, whether you believe in it or not. That is completely up to you. No judgments in any way. However, we can tell in this particular book that marriage does seem to signify that you become the property of the person you are marrying, of the man you are marrying. And so, again, it's part of that conversation that's being had within this book, and that can be brought outside of the pages. It's a difficult conversation to have if you're not ready to have those sorts of conversations. It really made me think about a couple things as well, about just toxic relationships and the questioning of like allowing someone quote unquote ownership and those sorts of things. So like again, starting and triggering good conversations. I will say it was kind of a slow burn book just in general. It took me a little while to get into it. I still give it 4 stars because I was intrigued towards the end. It does leave you kind of on a cliffhanger. Not a huge one, but kind of on the next step of their journey. Like they're literally getting off the boat, ready to go on to the next step of their journey. That is literally like the ending of the book. And so be prepared to be like, if you really like it, you're going to be looking forward to the next book whenever it may come out. Um, I just, I wish my protagonist was a little more likable. Nara she's very independent. She's very protective of her sister, all which are pretty good things, but there's also a point about her that makes her a little bit unlikable as a protagonist. Now, I'm not saying that having an unlikable protagonist is a bad thing, but there are certain things about her and throughout the book that I'm just like, girl, didn't we just already do this? Didn't we already just like work through these things and like process this, and now we're going back to it? Like, we need to have better conversations. I was getting kind of frustrated with her. She's a great fighter, and I'm kind of speculating on some of the way things may go in book 2. I don't know how far this journey may go for Nara and Osha, for the Wrangler, for their friends, but I am I'm I'm intrigued. I will say I'm intrigued because now I will say some of the banter is really good. Uh, it is very snappy and snarky. I think Nara has some good wit to her. I do like the fact that there is a little bit of magic involved, and but it's not so overly done that it seems to what do they call it when they kind of when the character's kind of like overly powerful, like OP, is that overly powerful? Because I know if you like, then if you like nerf a character, anyway, I'm not great with video game lingo. Like I like little questing games, but anyway, anyway, I think she's a little she's not too overly powered. Her power seems to be able to benefit her just enough in the right ways to be able to help her on this journey, but it's not so much that we truly think that she's like this crazy superpower. So I guess we shall see what happens in the next book and what Joe Riccioni has in store for us in the next couple pages, books, chapters, what have you. I think the world isn't pretty well done. I am intrigued to see about that. The characters are pretty well fleshed out, although, like I said, I think Nara is going to be the one. I think I'm going to need some more. Every time I thought that she was developing as a character, she would backslide, and that was driving me crazy. I think her sister Osha was pretty consistent, not only with a little bit of growth, but with a little bit of just flaws as well. And I'd like to see a character with flaws. It's not a terrible thing, because I think we're all a little flawed in some ways, and that's not negative. That I think that's a character trait. But anyway, I'm just kind of seeing if there's anything else that I wanted to say with regards to other people's comments, with regards to some people's thoughts. I didn't know what to expect with this book. Like I said, I had a good time with it. NetGalley provided me the audiobook. I didn't realize that it came out almost a year and a half ago, but pretty excited to see what else comes out of this realm, because I need to find out what else is going to happen. I think that's going to help me with some of the character development, relationship growth, and all of the rest. But until next time, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you like what you hear, if you like my ramblings and all this sort of random stuff, or just me drinking coffee sporadically, I know it's probably cold at this moment, and I don't want to microwave it. That is the worst. But anyway, I will see you guys on the next page. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and please look for the next episode, because I am trying to do episodes about 2 to 3 times a week, trying to get back into my habit, because I've been really overwhelmed with life, and that's just how things go. But until next time, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next page. Bye.